Hello fellow coders, hope you all are doing great. So today we are going to learn about React's hook useState. useState is a hook that is used to manage state, or you can say a variable inside a functional component in React. So you might be wondering why exactly we need to manage a variable inside React. So in different scenarios you might end up in a situation where you would like to change a variable's value with the help of some event on the virtual DOM. So in those cases, you can just use this useState function, and then you can change the variable's value dependent on the particular events. All right. Now this variable value can be used anywhere inside this functional component in order to calculate something, or you can say you can even use it to hide or unhide a component. And there are multiple usages of this particular variable. We'll cover a few of them in this video, and I'll definitely make a part 2 for this. So let's get started. useState hook can be easily imported by using this import statement. You can just write here import and then in curly braces useState from React. And again, this is a named import, and this is how we can declare a useState const and then a bracket. In that bracket we have a variable and a function. All right, so we have two different entities in this square bracket, a variable and its function. So wherever you're going to call this function, you can change the value for this variable accordingly. I'll show you a practical example in a minute. And after this you just have to type here equals to and then useState, and in the bracket goes the default value of this particular variable. Right now I'm using false here, but you can just change it with some other values as well. For example, you can write here some example string, or you can just write here integers or anything else. It literally can take anything, because again we are not dealing with TypeScript, we are just dealing with the plain JavaScript. So there are no issues of data types. So let's just go with the false right now. All right. And so this statement basically means that this temp variable is assigned this value, the false value, by default. As soon as this app function is loaded, or it is displayed in front of you in the viewport, this statement is going to be executed, and it's going to set the value of temp equals to false. Let me just show you that how does it looks like in the console.log, and then we're going to just type here temp. All right. All right. So you can see that there is a small component over here that says profile picture, and I've just defined it over here. It's just a small div, nothing else. Okay, just a small functional component. And now you can see that we have just used the console log on the 8th line over here, and let me just show you. So it shows false over here. So as soon as the app component is loaded, the console log statement is also going to be executed, and it will show us a false over here. Now we'll learn the practical usage, or you can say practical application of this useState hook, and I'll just show you a quick example how you can use it. So you can see that there is a component over here inside a React fragment. Let's just put a curly braces in front of it in order to access the JavaScript inside the JSX. You can see that the variable is defined outside the return statement. Again, you cannot just define any variable inside the return statement, but I'm just telling that how it is going to work. So you can just write here temp, and then I'm going to use an AND operator and then the component. So what it means is that if this is false, this is not going to be displayed. If this is somehow converted into true, then this whole thing is also going to be displayed. Let me just show you the result over here in the on the screen. Look at this. So you can clearly see that there are no components visible on the screen right now. We have just defined the value of temp variable to the false by default. Let's just create a small button here. All right, and we're going to put an on-click function on this, which is going to call this set temp function. Remember, I told you that this is actually a setter function for this variable. So it's going, whenever you call this function, you can just pass in a value whatever you would like to assign the temp variable, you can just pass in the value inside the setter function and it's just going to be assigned to the temp variable. Let me just pass here true. All right, and I guess we're good to go. You can just write here something like lorem10 so that the button is visible. So look at this. So there is a button over here. We are telling the React that as soon as this particular button is clicked, you have to call the setTemp function, and then we have passed a value to it. So what it is going to do is it is just going to set the value of the temp variable equals to true. Now, now there is a small catch that we will cover later on. Let me just show you how does it works first of all. So look at this. Boom. So as soon as we clicked on that button, the profile picture component is now. Let's just talk about the catch that I was referring earlier. So the catch is as soon as the variable that is defined over here is somehow modified or it is changed with the help of the setter function, this whole component is going to be re-rendered. Let me just repeat it once more. So as soon as we change the value of this particular variable, this whole component is going to be re-rendered. Whatever is being returned inside this component is going to re-render. Let me just show you what exactly I mean, the practical application. So you can see that we have a comp component over here, and this component is defined over here. Let's just console log over here. So that we would know that this particular component is being loaded. Let me just give it a refresh. So right now it is not being loaded because the useState is false. Let's just click on this. Look at this. Now it is loaded. So let's just remove this whole statement and let's print the variable over here. Alright, let's just do this, give it a refresh. Alright, so profile picture is by default visible because it's we haven't added any operators or something like that in front of it. So let me just go ahead and open the inspect element over here. Alright, so you can see there are two different console logs coming from two different files. One is coming from the app.js and from the 8th statement, and another one is coming from the comp.js and it is from the 4th statement. Both of them are the console logs that we have explicitly added in the code. So this first one is just telling us the value of useState, and the second one is showing us this console. Look at the console as soon as I click on this button. As soon as we click on this, look. So you can see that the console log is being called again in both the components. That means as soon as the app component is getting rendered, this particular thing is also being rendered. It means if you change a useState's value in a functional component, all the components that are getting returned inside it are also going to be re-rendered. So that is something you should always consider before using the useState, because that would just make your app a little bit slower if there are multiple components that are getting returned by the function and you are using a useState over there. Even if the useState is being used only one of the components, the whole thing is going to be re-rendered. It does not matter if you are using the useState one time or even in fact if you are not using it at all. So look at this, we are not even using it anywhere, but it will still be loaded again. So let me just show you. As soon as I click on this button, this whole component is going to be loaded again. Now if we click on this button again, now look at this, it's not changing anything. You might be wondering why. It's just because of the fact that we have used set temp true and the value of the temp is already true, so it's not changing. That's why the whole app component is not re-rendered. That's it for now, guys. Hope you like this video, and if you found this video helpful, please like, share and comment down below, and you can comment your queries down below. I'll be there to resolve all of them, because just consider me a virtual teacher. If you want to see the part 2 of me explaining more about the useState, you can just subscribe to this channel. I'll also showcase some of other examples where you can use use this particular hook. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.